Aquatic scents, watery, fresh, citrusy, give you kind of those beach by the pool type of vibes. Who doesn't like a really good aquatic scent? There's a lot of really good ones out there. And in this video, I'm bringing you 15 of my personal favorites that I'm going to be pulling out this year when I'm just feeling in the mood to feel like I'm sitting by the pool or actually be sitting by the pool. Stay tuned. So with this first one, it's relatively new to my collection. I bought it not long ago. I've kind of been holding off for the warmer weather, and I just feel like this is a bit more aquatic than others in its own line. I do have a lot from this line because the whole line is basically aquatics. Of course, I'm talking about the Bulgari Aqua line, but I'm specifically talking about Aqua Marine. Beautiful, salty citrus, a little bit of bitter seaweed in there. Gives that salty, bitter marine accord that I was talking about. There's some beautiful citrus in here. It's very watery, has a strong aquatic nature. I definitely think beach vibes when I smell this. Beautiful. You know, it's actually been gaining a little bit of ground since last summer, I find, whereas Aqua Atlantique, don't get me wrong, love that one. An aquatic blue fragrance, but this is just so much lighter and fresher than that, and doesn't have a similarity to a Dylan Blue, kind of like Aqua Atlantique has. So this one kind of stands on its own. Don't be wrong, Aqua Amara, the original Aqua, could definitely go in this video as well, but I just feel like this one's just got so much stronger of an aquatic vibe than those that it's perfect for this. It's, like I said, light, airy, citrus, watery, very salty marine, just a beautiful aquatic fragrance, and one that if you come across, you should probably go ahead and get your hands on. Damn good fragrance that performs pretty well. And that's Aqua Marine from Bulgari. Some bright citrus, some mineral notes, believe it or not. Ultra fresh. Ultra's even in the name. It's Ralph Lauren Polo Ultra Blue. Definitely the freshest of the Polo Blue line in my opinion. I do have a few from the Polo Blue line, but this one just, man, so light, so airy, fresh and aquatic, just watery, super high heat days, beautiful fragrance for those situations because that's what's going to make it project. It has that cooling, effervescent, invigorating type of quality about it in the high heat. Beautiful, beautiful for hot weather. It's just great. Beach vibes for sure. Definitely vacation in a bottle type of stuff. Very good, not too salty, does have kind of a little bit of a marine quality, but not much. It's more heavy citrus mineral notes and very watery, mouth-watering type of freshness. Beautiful, not some powerhouse in performance, as a lot of these aren't really super beast performers, but definitely great for what it is, and one that's kind of underrated that not a whole lot of people talk about from the Polo Blue line that more people should check out for sure. Get a sample. Try it out. Carded samples are pretty easy to get online. That's Polo Ultra Blue. Yet another fragrance in a line that's full of aquatics. And some will probably say, why is the Intense not in here? Because to be honest with you, I think the aquatic nature of this particular flanker is a bit better and suits this video a little bit more. And I'm talking about Dolce & Gabbana Light Blue Sun. The flanker from summer of 2018. One of the few fragrances that has a little bit coconut in it that I actually thoroughly enjoy. You're definitely getting strong beach vibes with this. A lot of citrus, very watery and aquatic. A little bit of a sunscreen vibe going with it while still maintaining that original Dolce & Gabbana Light Blue DNA. Beautiful fragrance. It got a little bit of hype when it came out and the hype kind of killed over. Bottles are still pretty easy to get from discounters online. They do pop up at the rack stores. This bottle came from a Marshall's. Was it last summer? I think it was last summer. It might have been summer 2019 actually. Yeah, summer 2019 I grabbed this. Beautiful fragrance that doesn't get any love anymore. And still easy to get, even though it was a summer flanker from, once we roll into summer 2021, it'll be 3 years later. It's still easy to get a bottle because the hype killed quickly on this, and it's great. It's actually got a little bit of uniqueness going for it in its own line because of that coconut and that little bit of a sunscreen vibe. Definitely strong beach vibes with this one. This is a good vacation fragrance for sure. Very, very aquatic with a little bit of uniqueness because it has that sunscreen nature going for it without being too much. Because don't get me wrong, I get it, the sunscreen vibe can be off-putting. I don't like it in most fragrances. It's done very well in this one. And that's Dolce & Gabbana, light blue, sun. Fresh, fruity, watery. There's a beautiful pineapple. There's a little bit of pimento spice in here. It's airy and ozonic. It's Bentley Azure from the Bentley for Men line. One that doesn't get a whole lot of love. It gets it here and there in some summer lists every year, but not the hype that it once had. Beautiful fragrance, don't get me wrong. Momentum Unlimited. Very good fragrance from the house as far as light blue style fragrances, but this is much more fresh, fruity, and aquatic and watery, and suits this video topic a lot better than Momentum Unlimited. Decent performer too. I get in that 6 to 7 hour range in longevity. This is actually one of the better performers in this video. It does have a pretty strong compliment factor, as do most of them. Fresh fragrances tend to do that. When somebody smells you and you're smelling nice and clean and fresh, especially these aquatic scents, you're bound to get paid a nice compliment, and this one is nothing short of that. When people smell this one on me, traditionally, because I've had it for a few years now, I tend to get some positive attention here and there, but it's not one that every time I wear it I'm going to get a compliment kind of thing. But it's fresh and clean. It's got a real juicy pineapple in this for some of the citrus that's up top. It doesn't smell like every other aquatic fragrance. It kind of does its own thing, which is the beauty of it, and you can have it for under $30 from most discounters. Like I said, it performs pretty well. I mean, it's hard to knock Bentley fragrances because they put some really good stuff out there that tends to get cheap at these discounters, and this is definitely the best fresh and aquatic one. I would say Momentum Unlimited's the best freshie, but this is definitely the best one that's aquatic, that really fits the beach vibe type of theme that we're going for with aquatic fragrances. Again, this Bentley for Men Azure. I mean, hell, summer vibes is in the name. Authenticity Perfumes Summer Vibes. This stuff, man, mega citrus, super watery. Oh man, mega citrus. The reformulation was a great idea because the yellow label, the old one, which I do have a bottle of, was too light. This one's got more punch to it. It's got more bite. It's a bit more crisp. It's a lot more aquatic. It really is. This one's sharp, and there's even a little bit of cannabis in the dry down to give it this fresh herbal quality. It doesn't darken it up. Doesn't really add too much spice. There's a little fresh spice here, but definitely one of the better summer fragrances that's lesser known. Not a lot of people know about Authenticity Perfumes. It does have a bit of a unique DNA to it. It does not smell like all the other fragrances in this video, and it's one that you can get samples of and try for yourself to make sure you're going to like it, but it definitely performs. This is the best performer in the video, with Bentley Azure being probably in second or third place among what's available of these 15, but this is definitely the beast mode fragrance of this video. They guarantee 12 plus hours because they use 50% oil concentrations. Authenticity Perfumes is not shy. If you're looking for fresh and aquatic, this is the one from the house, and it's absolutely my favorite fragrance from Authenticity Perfumes, with Barbershop being my second favorite, because Barbershop used to be my favorite, then they reformulated Summer Vibes, and it took the top spot because it's that damn good. Definitely get a sample and try it, or just go ahead and get yourself a bottle. There's a link below. Summer Vibes from Authenticity Perfumes. Not a whole lot of fresh aquatics are more popular than this one. A lot of bottles been sold over the years. A lot of ladies dig this one. You know, when it comes to fresh aquatic fragrances, if you let your lady pick it, she'll pick this one more times than not. It's Versace Man Eau Fraiche. Now don't get me wrong, Azzaro Chrome Sport smells very similar for a little bit less money. Dolce & Gabbana Light Blue for women smells like a more floral version. There's a lot of Mont Blanc Star Walker. Smells kind of similar to this, but that's recently discontinued, and it's a little bit cheaper, but still readily available. I know I'm rambling a little bit because there's a lot of ways to smell like Versace Man Eau Fraiche is the point, but it's easy to get a hold of. There's always somebody carrying it. There's no shortage of getting a bottle of Versace Man Eau Fraiche. There's a variety of sizes. This is a 1 ounce bottle. You can get them for a pretty good price from discounters, especially if you're not looking for if you're looking for a 100 ml bottle, you're in the $40 some odd range, and the price just starts dropping as the bottle size drops. There's always gift sets available. It's tried and true. It's a decent performer for what it is. It's very fresh up top, very watery and aquatic, while still a little musky and fresh spicy as it dries. It definitely has its own smell that a lot of designer companies have replicated. That's why I say there's a lot of other ways to smell like this fragrance. But at the end of the day, best route to go is definitely to just get Versace Men Eau Fraiche, and the uniqueness of a bottle. The bottle, I mean, that just looks cool sitting on your dresser. It always has. It's an iconic bottle from an iconic fragrance. One of the best fresh aquatic fragrances out there that you can get your hands on. It's tried and true. You can't go wrong with Versace Men Eau Fraiche. Now this one switches it up a little bit on you. This one's not going to be for everybody because it's a bit stronger on the bitterness from the seaweed in this one. It's a little bit more matured of an aquatic scent, but it's definitely very marine and aquatic. There's no denying that. And if you're looking for something different that's not your run-of-the-mill aquatic, you should take a look at Aramis Adventurer. This has been popping up at the rack stores more lately. I have been seeing them at different Marshalls and so on. I actually did a full review on this one at the very beginning of my channel a few years ago. This was one of the first full reviews that I did. It is different. I could see some people not liking this, but if you give this one a chance for the 25-ish dollars you're going to spend, man, on this 3.7 ounce bottle, it's actually not synthetic. I don't find it synthetic at all. It's different. It's fresh. It's a little fresh spicy. It's definitely musky, and the seaweed is believable in this one. And it adds that strong, salty, slightly bitter marine accord that really works wonders in an aquatic fragrance, because it really adds that marine quality to it where you really picture yourself. Like this one, I picture being ankle deep in salt water in the Gulf of Mexico, because I'm from the South. I'm used to the Gulf of Mexico. Florida coast, Mississippi, South Louisiana, Galveston area in Texas, and so on. You know where I'm going with it. I picture being ankle deep in that water wearing this. It's that believable of a salty saltwater type of accord. Overlooked and underrated. Nobody talks about Adventurer. Nobody really. I mean, I'm sure there's somebody out there, I just haven't seen them. Underrated. You see this one out there, you want something different. You want to take a chance, you want to roll the dice on a fresh aquatic fragrance that doesn't smell like any of the other ones in your collection. Give this a try if you happen to run across it at the rack store. For 25 bucks, it's definitely worth the money. These pop up at Burlington all the time. They do pop up at Ross Dress for Less as well. Pretty much all the rack stores. But it's definitely the freshest of the recent ones. I do have the 2020 version as well. Of course, I'm talking about CK Summer. This is the 2019 flanker. This is super, super, super fresh and aquatic. I mean super fresh. One of the freshest fragrances I own. I'm actually saving this one for when it gets real hot outside to really enjoy this one. I won't even waste any sprays out the shower because I really like how this smells. And I have a ton of fresh fragrances. But this one just hits a different way for me. When I spray it and I smell it, it brightens my day. It lifts my mood, and it's so ultra fresh, it makes me want to go outside in the sun. It just does. It does that to me. Some fragrances have certain effects on you. CK1 Summer 2019 has that effect on me. Like I said, super fresh citrus, very watery, very mouth-watering citrus. I love this stuff. There's supposedly a little tea note in here. I don't get a lot of that, but it's very, very watery. Summer is the right name to have on this. It fits the summer line very well because it's summer in a bottle. Very, very aquatic. CK1 Summer 2019. So there's a new flanker to this flanker that's coming out called Profondo Lights. Of course, I'm talking about Acqua di Gio Profondo. I've heard it's even brighter citrus up top. I don't know if that's going to affect the aquatic nature of this fragrance, because this is one of the best aquatics on the market. This aquazone note that they came up with that's in here just adds to that aquatic nature. It's so marine, it's so summer, it's so watery. It's such a compliment getter too, and it performs. This is another one that's one of the better performers in this video. 8+ hour fragrance that really projects. This will really grab somebody. It's definitely a strong compliment getter, and you can find testers. You can get your hands on 75 ml bottles like this for a decent price for it being Acqua di Gio fragrance, because even from discounters they're not really that cheap, but these are quality designers. Even with them being synthetic, because this has newer synthetics in it. It still smells great. The blend is great. It's got a beautiful sillage in the trail. This smells great out in the air. And trust me, go to a Dillard's, a Macy's, or whatever, spray it on your skin, walk around the mall, even with masks on, people will be able to smell you because this stuff really projects. Somebody's bound to say you smell good. I mean, this stuff really gets out there, and most of these masks, you can, I smell stuff all the time through these masks. So don't think people can't smell you when you have a pretty strong fragrance on. And this is definitely a pretty strong fragrance. It's very, very aquatic, fits this video very well. And in my opinion, one of the best aquatic fragrances on the market currently. One that doesn't really get overlooked, but it deserves to not get overlooked. It's Acqua di Gio Profondo. One of my favorite cheap fragrances. This is another one that was one of the first, this was the first impressions video I ever did on my channel a couple years ago. Did a full review on it. It was one of my first full reviews as well. The very first being Bulgari Aqua Atlantique, but for 20 bucks, Davidoff Cool Water Wave, it's hard to beat for this 4.2 ounce bottle. Shower gel, super aquatic, watery. It's got a little bit of juniper in it. Man, I love smelling this stuff. Been a few weeks since I wore it last. I want to spray it again. I just love the way it smells. It smells great. Not a strong performer. 4 or 5 hour fragrance. It's one that you can bathe in because it's not a heavy projector. It just smells good though. I mean, I spray every bit of 10 to 12 sprays, and then when I reapply a few hours later, I do it again. You know, this stuff is great. I'll definitely be getting another bottle this summer because I'll be putting an even bigger dent in it this summer. It's one of my favorite aquatics. I love this one. I do have a beach trip coming up a few months from now. This will be in the suitcase. This will be one of the fragrances that will make that trip because it's one of my favorite aquatics. That's why it's kind of towards the tail end. Even though this isn't really ranked, it's kind of ranked because in my opinion for $20, it's very, very hard to beat Davidoff Cool Water Wave. Is it something you haven't smelled before? Probably not. But what it does well in my opinion, and I really like it. Just because I do doesn't mean you will, but if you like aquatic shower gel type of scents and you don't want to spend a lot of money, check out Davidoff Cool Water Wave. One that's relatively new to my collection that I haven't been spending a lot of time with just yet, but I'll definitely be spending more time with as it starts to warm up a bit more. A lot of you know I've been really diving into the house of Bon Parfumeur because they offer such great fragrances at a relatively affordable price for niche. And this is number 801. This is marine and aquatic. This is watery citrus at its finest and believable too. Man, it's supernatural smelling. And look, there's a little bit of florals in here to really add a bit of class to the freshness. But look, for being a super freshy that's very watery, it doesn't remind me of anything else, and I love that. I love when I come across a fragrance that doesn't remind me of other things and does something new for my palate. My olfactory sense gets a little bit of a treat when it's something that I don't have already. And that's the case with 801. 601 is the new bergamot and vetiver one that I have that's similar to other fragrances, but it's just so high quality. And then with 801, it's a unique freshie in my collection that's just so fresh, airy, lightly floral, and aquatic and watery. Beautiful, beautiful fragrance. Definitely try this one. If you're looking for a freshie that doesn't smell like all the other fragrances in your collection, get one of their little sample packs that have their little shots, and make sure 801's in there if you're looking for something really, really fresh, and I mean really fresh. It's a damn good one. One that I urge you to check out. Check out more stuff from Bon Parfumeur. They're putting out some fantastic fragrances and they are underrated. So as a lot of you already know, I love the First Instinct line from Abercrombie and Fitch. And my absolute favorite from the house is definitely First Instinct Together. I have multiple bottles of it. I have a new Tonino Lamborghini fragrance that smells similar to it. So it's like I got another bottle of it basically. This does perform better than the Lamborghini fragrance. A lot of you asked me to follow up on performance on that. That one I get about 3 hours. I get 5 hours out of this. This is a little bit richer. It's a damn good fragrance. Synthetic, sure. but it's not necessarily a bad thing. This is one of the more synthetic fragrances I own that I can't get enough of. I just wore this one out the shower last night, as a matter of fact. Love this fragrance. It's so good to me. Youthful appeal? Sure. Don't care. Love the whole line. This is definitely my favorite fragrance in the line. I hope they put out a 5th flanker because I love all 4 of the offerings from this line, but together took the cake for me because it's a little bit of Invictus Aqua, it's a little bit of YSL, and it's a little bit of the original First Instinct. I love it. It's cheap. It gets compliments. What more could you ask for? And it's super, super aquatic. I mean, it's, look at the bottle. Tell me you wouldn't assume aquatic when you see that. First Instinct together. Kind of a must-have. So how about a classic? It's a little metallic, fresh citrus. Of course, it's aquatic and watery. It's a timeless classic among freshies, really. It's Azzaro Chrome, a fragrance that a lot of the fragrances I've spoken about in this video modeled themselves after. Saw what Azzaro did with this and thought, how can I capitalize on what they did and use that to my advantage and be successful with it? And it's a mold breaker. This was. For its time in the 90s when it came out, this was a groundbreaking scent. A lot of people wore this one, and it's still great to this day. It still performs pretty well through all the formulations it's been through. It's still a 6+ hour aquatic. You don't see that much, especially for something that you can get a 100 ml of in the 20-some odd dollar range from discounters. They pop up all the time at rack stores. They're always available from the discounters online. It's not hard to find a bottle of Azzaro Chrome, and it's a staple in everyone's collection because when in doubt, you want to smell good. Straight up, you just want to smell good. No accords, no types of scent, no notes. You just want to smell good. You want people to think you smell good when you're around them. Get a bottle of Azzaro Chrome. It's tried and true. It only makes sense to have this fragrance, even though it's kind of cliche to have it in a video at this point. I get it, but it's still a good fragrance. You can spend about 12 bucks, anywhere from $12 to $17 depending on where you get it. Readily available everywhere. It's Nautica Voyage. Crisp green apple, super fresh aquatic. It's good. It's a decent performer. You're not going to spend much money. It's another one where you could be on a mega budget and you're going to smell good. Decent projector too. I have gotten several compliments over the years wearing Nautica Voyage. Is it some compliment machine? No, definitely not. But I have gotten the occasional compliment because you smell good. Another one, just like Azzaro Chrome, you want to smell good. You don't want to spend a lot of money. Get a bottle of Nautica Voyage. Another staple in everyone's collection, especially when you're starting out. You're just starting to dive into wanting to have multiple bottles. You know, I want this fragrance for this situation and this fragrance for this season, and you want to start building a collection. It's a good starting point. It's a good starting point. You're not going to spend a lot of money. Like I said, you're going to smell good. It's a decent performer. You're going to smell like a nice green apple. It's very watery. Very, very watery. Nautica Voyage, another one that's kind of a staple. Last but not least, it's my favorite fragrance in my collection. Some of you know exactly what I mean when I say that. A few fragrances in this video modeled themselves after it. I tried to keep that to a minimum because I got a ton of fragrances that kind of rip off this scent DNA, if you will. Let's just get into it. Invictus Aqua. And for those of you new to my channel and are going to ask why does it say it on the front, that's a tester bottle. That's why it says the name of the fragrance on the front. I love this fragrance. It just makes me happy. Through all the fragrances I have, the hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of fragrances, through all the additions of niche and quality, fragrances that cost hundreds of dollars to buy, that just blow this out the water in quality and performance and all those things, I still love this the most. You know, there's no shame in my game. I am not afraid to tell people how much I love the Invictus line and how much I love Invictus Aqua, because to me, I never smell better than when I have this on. It's just my opinion. And a lot of people tend to agree with me because no fragrance has gotten me more compliments than Invictus Aqua. In that first hour and a half, this stuff is screaming off of my skin. I get about 7 hours of longevity. This is another one that it's to the point to where I've had somebody recently ask me, Invictus or Invictus Aqua? The answer a few years ago was Invictus. Now it's more so Invictus Aqua. This narrowly beats out Invictus as my favorite fragrance because it's just that much fresher. It just smells that much better to me. It's one I'll never stop recommending for sure, and it's one that if you haven't tried yet, I think you should go try this. One of Paco Rabanne's finest in my opinion. Invictus Aqua. Well guys, that's the 15. And until next time, do me a real quick favor, go ahead and like, comment, subscribe, because I do appreciate all the feedback. Love hearing from you guys. What in this video do you already have? What in this video are you interested in trying? What in this video have you tried and you don't care for? That happens, you know? I have a lot of fragrances that could have went here, but I really wanted to narrow it down to what I plan on reaching for the most this year in regards to aquatic fragrances. Some perform better than others, some are cheaper than others, but you'll smell good with any of them. Just to be honest with you. And until next time, I will say, if you get your hands on any of these fragrances, you give them a spray now, pretty confident you'll thank me later. Have a good one, guys.